Some mysteries are written in the silence of the sea, a silence so deep, it drowns every answer. Picture this: a ship drifting through open waters, its food still laid out, its cargo untouched, but not a single soul aboard. No cries for help, no signs of violence. Only the echo of a question that has never been solved. This is not folklore. This is the ghost ship Mary Celeste, and its story still chills the world today. The year was 1872, and the Atlantic Ocean stretched out endlessly, quiet but full of secrets. Its waters shimmered under the winter sun, hiding stories that no man had yet uncovered. And within those waters sailed a merchant brig called the Mary Celeste. She was not a large ship, only about 100 feet long, but strong, reliable, and built to cross oceans. On this voyage, her destination was Genoa, Italy. Her cargo: more than 1,700 barrels of industrial alcohol, carefully packed in her hold. To anyone who saw her, she was just another hard-working vessel making her way across the seas. But what happened to her crew turned her into one of the greatest mysteries in maritime history. Captain Benjamin Briggs commanded the Mary Celeste. He was an experienced sailor, a man respected by many, known for his discipline and honesty. Alongside him was his wife Sarah, and their 2-year-old daughter Sophia. It was unusual for a captain to bring his family on such a long journey, but Briggs trusted the ship and the voyage. Together with 7 crew members, all strong seamen from different corners of the world, the Mary Celeste set sail from New York City on November 7th, 1872. For them, it was supposed to be a straightforward trip across the Atlantic. Nothing unusual, nothing dangerous. Just the endless ocean, a solid ship, and the promise of reaching Europe safely. But the ocean often has plans of its own. For a time, all seemed ordinary. The Mary Celeste moved steadily across the Atlantic, her sails full, her course true. On November 25th, 1872, another ship spotted her near the Azores, a lonely chain of islands in the Atlantic. At that moment, everything seemed normal. The ship sailed smoothly, her course steady. Nothing suggested disaster. But then, silence. No further sightings, no messages, just the Mary Celeste vanishing into the horizon. It wasn't until December 5th, 1872, that another ship appeared in the story. The Dei Grazia, a British brig making its own way across the Atlantic. She was commanded by Captain David Morehouse, an acquaintance of Benjamin Briggs. The Dei Grazia crew were seasoned sailors, men used to long voyages and the strange moods of the sea. On that cold December afternoon, they spotted something unusual in the distance. A lone ship drifting slowly, sails partly torn, moving without a clear direction. The flag identified her as American. As they drew closer, they could make out the name painted clearly on her stern: Mary Celeste. Captain Morehouse must have felt his heart sink. What was Briggs's ship doing here, adrift and alone? He had dined with Briggs just weeks earlier in New York before both ships departed. They had even spoken about their voyages. Now, seeing the Mary Celeste wandering without command was a chilling sight. The crew of the Dei Grazia lowered a small boat and rowed toward her. The waves slapped against their sides, the sound of the oars echoing in the empty air. As they climbed aboard, an eerie silence swallowed them. The ship was deserted. Everywhere they looked, there were signs of recent life, but no people. The cabins were neatly arranged. The captain's logbook entries stopped abruptly just days before. Clothes were folded, belongings untouched. The cargo was still intact, except for a few barrels that appeared to have leaked. Even the crew's pipes and boots were still there, as though the men had stepped out only for a moment and never returned. The lifeboat, however, was gone. This discovery left the sailors of the Dei Gratia baffled. Why would the crew abandon a perfectly seaworthy ship? The Mary Celeste was damaged only slightly, a bit of water in the hold, some torn sails, but nothing that explained why all souls on board had vanished. The food stores were plentiful, untouched. There was no sign of fire, no evidence of attack. It was as though the people had melted into the air, leaving only their possessions behind. The sailors inspected every inch of the ship, from the captain's quarters to the galley. They found a sword in Briggs's cabin, lying on the floor, but with no blood. They found charts and instruments scattered, but still usable. Even the ship's chronometer, its navigation timepiece, was missing, which suggested it had been taken with the lifeboat. But why? When Captain Morehouse and his men brought the Mary Celeste into Gibraltar, word of the discovery spread quickly. Newspapers across Europe and America told the story of a ghost ship found adrift. Its crew mysteriously vanished. Ordinary people read the accounts with both fascination and fear. How could a ship so solid, so well equipped, lose its crew without a trace? The British Admiralty launched an official investigation. Experts examined the Mary Celeste carefully. They noted strange, deep cuts on her bow and unusual marks on her sides. Some believed they were caused by rough seas, others suspected human hands. But no clear answers emerged. Speculation spread like wildfire. Some whispered about pirates, though there was no evidence of robbery. Others thought of mutiny. Perhaps the crew had turned against Captain Briggs. But again, nothing supported it. Briggs was respected, and the men chosen were said to be loyal and trustworthy. Another theory involved the cargo itself. The barrels of alcohol, some said, might have leaked and caused dangerous fumes. If so, perhaps the crew panicked, thinking an explosion was imminent. They could have lowered themselves into the lifeboat, waiting nearby for the air to clear. But what if a sudden storm had blown them away, leaving them lost at sea while the Mary Celeste drifted on? Yet, even this explanation felt incomplete. Would an experienced captain like Briggs really abandon his ship, which was still in good condition, for such a risk? Sailors knew that staying aboard was almost always safer than taking to the lifeboats. Briggs was no fool. The mystery only grew deeper. As the years passed, the story of the Mary Celeste transformed from a maritime puzzle into a legend. Writers, journalists, and storytellers added their own layers. Some claimed they saw phantom sailors manning her deck, ghostly figures at the wheel, guiding her through foggy seas. Others swore the ship was cursed, doomed to wander whenever she left port. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, long before creating Sherlock Holmes, even wrote a fictionalized tale about her, feeding the fire of mystery in the public imagination. But despite all the theories, storms, pirates, mutiny, sea monsters, supernatural curses, the truth remained just out of reach. What we do know is this. The Mary Celeste was found in the middle of the Atlantic, her crew and captain gone forever, with no signs of struggle, no trail to follow, and no clear reason why. She carried within her empty decks a silence louder than any storm, a riddle that refused to be solved. And to this day, her name still sends a shiver down the spine of anyone who hears it. The Mary Celeste wasn't just a ship. She was a reminder that the sea, vast and unknowable, keeps its secrets well. The Mary Celeste began her voyage in 1872, but in truth, it has never ended. A ship found adrift, her crew vanished without a trace, leaving behind nothing but questions. Was it mutiny, murder, storm, or something far stranger? No theory has ever solved the riddle. The sea keeps her secret, locked in the deep, while we are left only to wonder. Perhaps one day the truth will surface. But until then, the Mary Celeste remains what she has always been, an unsolved echo on the waves, a ghost ship sailing forever through history. And maybe that's how it was meant to be. If you enjoyed unraveling this mystery with me, don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more untold mysteries, and share your own theory about the Mary Celeste in the comments below. Who knows? Maybe the answer has been waiting all along.